Thank you for joining. I'm Rita, Marketing Manager here at Organimi, and we're all excited to have you here with us today to talk about workforce planning for 2025 and setting the stage using org charts. And before we jump in, I'd love to introduce our other amazing speakers that we have with us today. So first up, we have Ruvani. Ruvani is our marketing coordinator, and she plays a key role in making sure that we bring practical, easy-to-use solutions to all of our users. And from our customer success team, we're thrilled to have Brianne and Bandana join us. So they work directly with our customers every day, helping them implement and get the most out of our org chart features so they know exactly where the challenges and the opportunities lie. So today we will be diving into some hands-on strategies and tools to help you navigate workforce planning challenges that lie ahead. We'll show you how tools like dynamic org charts can help you plan proactively, track growth, and develop your people so that you're ready for whatever 2025 throws your way. Along the way, we will cover the importance of workforce planning in 2025, key Organimi features to support organizational change, upskilling and workforce development, and using Organimi for workforce planning. So we'll cover key topics such as strategic planning with features such as vacant roles, so that you can visualize future hires and scenario plan with ease, upskilling and internal mobility, because the future of workforce growth isn't just hiring more people, it's developing the talent that you already have, managing hybrid and remote teams. So we'll show you how to map teams by function or location to boost collaboration and reduce bottlenecks, and reporting and insights to help you make data-driven decisions without the spreadsheet chaos. And we've also got some fun interaction points lined up, so be sure to keep the chat open. This is a conversation, not just a lecture. And if you have questions, drop them in the questions tab at any time. We will have a Q&A at the end to cover them all. We also have a special early Black Friday discount for those who stick around till the very end, so stay tuned for that. But without further ado, I'll now pass it on to Ruvani to kick things off.
Thanks, Rita. Awesome. All right, so let's set the stage by talking about why workforce planning is going to be the thing to focus on in 2025. Drop a thumbs up emoji in the chat. How many of you have seen major changes in your workforce strategies over the last couple of years? Yes, likely a lot of you. And 2025 is going to bring even more complexity. We've got hybrid teams, economic fluctuations, and evolving employee expectations. Deloitte's 2025 HR trends are pointing to three big things. First off, we have flexibility and agility, where organizations need to be able to pivot on a dime. Second, we have employee well-being, where people want balance and meaning in their work, and that's no longer a perk, it's expected. Lastly, we have transparency, where workforce planning and decision-making need to be visible both for employees and stakeholders. So, what does this mean for you? Being proactive rather than reactive is key, and that's where org charts come in. They help you plan your workforce strategically so you're prepared no matter what comes next.
Thanks, Ruvani. Now let's explore how having a clear dynamic org chart will set you up for success in 2025. We'll begin with vacant roles. Imagine you know you're going to need to hire for a new department in 2025, but you don't have the people yet. With Organimi's vacant role setting, you can actually plan these hires in advance and visualize where they'll fit into your organizational structure. You can even add projected hire dates. So instead of guessing, you can use your org chart to plan for future growth. And when those positions get filled, it's easy to plug those hires into their roles. How many of you have tried managing this kind of thing with spreadsheets? I feel you, and this makes it way simpler. You can adjust your chart as your plans evolve, making workforce planning less stressful. So how many of you know you'll need to hire for new roles in 2025? Drop a number in the chat, whether it's 1 or 100. 20, awesome. 20 as well, 3 to 5, 1. All right. Awesome. We have 45 as well. And we got some big numbers. We're in the mid. That's awesome, guys. Thank you so much. So next up, we have shared roles. This feature is a lifesaver for teams that have multiple people in the same position. Think of your customer service reps, IT specialists, or even salespeople. Rather than creating 10 different entries for the same role, you can group them together under one shared role card. This will keep your org chart clean and easy to navigate, so there's no more clutter. It's a great way to keep everything streamlined, especially when you're managing large teams. Plus, you can always see how many people are in that role and where they fit into your overall structure. So instead of turning your org chart into a web of endless titles, you can keep things clear and organized. So who here is managing big teams with lots of similar roles? Drop a yes in the chat if this sounds like something that would make your life easier. Lori says yes. Steve says yes. Emily says yes. Nadia, yes. Matt, yes. That's great. Awesome.
Seems like a lot of people, yeah. And so when you're building your org chart, there is that shared role feature. So instead of having a bunch of role boxes, you'll be able to have an individual condensed one. It makes it look all cleaner. So if you have a bunch of customer service reps, you can have them all listed under one box. Awesome.
Thanks, Ree. Now let's talk about one of Organimi's most powerful features, custom fields. These are a game changer for personalizing your org charts and making them more actionable. How many of you have wished you could add extra fields to a profile just beyond the name and title? Maybe you want to attach documents, links, or even checkboxes for team certifications or trainings. Well, Organimi lets you do exactly that. With custom fields, you can add any type of information that's relevant to your organization, whether it's job-specific certifications, work anniversaries, or even custom links to performance reviews or project boards. You can make the role card super functional. You can also use attachments for things like employee contracts, key documents, which are accessible right within your org chart. Checkboxes and text fields come in handy for HR team managing large groups. Imagine using checkboxes to track which employees have completed mandatory training, or using text fields to note down specific role requirements for future hires. It's a great way to make your org chart a living document, one that's as dynamic as your team. This level of customization means you're not just looking at names and job titles anymore, you're looking at all the information that actually matters for workforce planning and role management. For 2025, having this flexibility will be essential, especially as job roles continue to evolve and remote teams grow more complex. All right, what key pieces of information do you consider most valuable to track on your employee role cards? Let us know your most referenced fields or ones you're looking to add in 2025. All right, I think Organimi has all the fields already.
We have Lori typing, Brett typing as well. For reference, we can go back a slide and see. So there's different types of fields you can add to your role cards. There's attachment, checkboxes, text fields. And here are some examples under each of what you can be tracking with your role cards. So we're curious to know which ones would you reference the most within your existing role cards, and which ones maybe even through this slide right here, you don't currently have but are planning to add to your role cards in 2025.
Yeah, Brett says certifications. So we have checkboxes for certifications, Brett. Laurie says core duties. Pat says training. Alex says location. And Alan also says checkboxes. Nadia says goals. Yeah, so of course, we have a huge variety here. You can do text fields for adding your goals. For training certifications, you can add them as attachments. And for core duties, you again have role responsibilities, which could be a text field. So we have a whole lot of a platter for you guys. And yeah, awesome. Thank you so much for all your answers. And yeah, we have all the custom fields for you already.
Awesome. Yeah. And just so you know, in case you wanted to add maybe a custom field, but you wanted it to be private, so only you can see that, that is an option. So you can choose which fields are private and public. So we'd love to hear if there is a unique way that you're using custom fields that we haven't gone over already. You can just leave that in the chat. But in the meantime, I am excited to cover matrix charts and why they're such a game changer for workforce planning. So in a world where project-based work is on the rise, matrix charts are designed to help you manage teams that cross departments, locations, and skill sets seamlessly. They allow you to build dynamic project teams around specific goals while giving visibility into who's working on what. So imagine this setup. You have a matrix leader, let's call her Sarah, who oversees multiple projects. Sarah's team includes project managers, analysts, and specialists from departments like marketing, IT, and product development. These teams aren't exclusively in one department, but instead they split their time between project work and their core departmental roles. So each project, whether it's product launch A, market expansion B, or software integration C, has its own assigned team members and leaders, which Organimi's matrix charts make it easy to visualize. So this way you can see at a glance who is responsible for which tasks and where the responsibilities overlap. So why does this matter for 2025? Well, with hybrid teams and flexible roles becoming the new normal, workforce planning needs to keep pace. So matrix charts allow you to plan for growth, manage resources across multiple projects, and ensure that you're not overloading or underutilizing your team members. They help you stay clear and organized in a complex landscape. So we have a quick interaction point. For those who are managing multiple projects, just drop a quick note in the chat about how you're currently balancing those cross-functional teams. So are you using org charts? Are you using spreadsheets? Or are you using something else to keep track? Or it may be that you're not currently managing cross-functional teams, but maybe you're planning to in 2025 in the new year, and matrix charts are a great solution if that's something that you're looking to do. So Emily says she currently manages them through spreadsheets. HR is not tracking this currently, says Lori. Spreadsheets, CRM, says Pat. Alan says most of the time spreadsheets. Yeah, so it seems like spreadsheet is a popular answer. They can get a little bit confusing sometimes, so matrix charts are a great solution to try and kind of shift that to, if that's something that you're looking to do currently or in the new year. Awesome. Now let's move on to reporting. Now I know the word reports makes people groan, but these are the good kind. So with Organimi, you can generate reports that give you real insights into your organization. So for instance, how many people are in each department? Are there imbalances in your structure? You can get all of that information at a glance, and you can use it to make strategic decisions. So maybe your marketing department has grown too quickly and your operation team needs more support. You'll see those trends immediately. And the best part is that it integrates with your existing systems. So as you hire or make changes, your org chart will update automatically, and it keeps everything current. So let's quickly review the difference between organizational reports and chart reports. So organizational reports collect data and generate metrics at the organization level. So this includes the number of charts, the number of people in the talent pool, the number of admins, editors, viewers, and similar stats linked to the organization itself. Chart reports, on the other hand, they collect data and generate metrics at the chart level, such as the number of roles in the chart, the number of vacancies, departments, locations, and similar metrics. So you have the ability to view and export report comparisons, as well as enable daily, weekly, or monthly emails with updated reports. Please do note that if you haven't used Organimi reports in the past, they are available on the premium plan, and they are something that you need to go in and enable for them to begin reporting on data. We also just have a quick poll, so we will enable that to pop up on your screen. We are curious to know, how often are you analyzing team structures and reporting on inefficiencies? So let us know, is this weekly, monthly, or quarterly? All right.
See the results.
Seems like most people are reporting on their team structures quarterly, followed by monthly, and then one says weekly.
Awesome. So finally, we'll talk about backup snapshots. Ever made a big change in your organization and wished you could hit the undo button? We've all been there. Organimi lets you take a snapshot of your org chart before making any big changes, so if things do go sideways, you can restore a previous version. This is especially useful during mergers, acquisitions, or big reorganizations, and it's basically like having a safety net for your workforce planning. You can experiment without the fear of losing your original setup, giving you some peace of mind, plain and simple. You don't have to worry about losing valuable data or making irreversible changes. When you're working with a complex org chart and have multiple stakeholders involved, having the ability to roll back to a snapshot really takes the pressure off, as you know you'll have the previous version. Whether you're testing new reporting structures, updating team dynamics, or trying out a new workflow, backup snapshots let you explore new ideas while keeping everything intact in case you do need to revert. It also helps with version control, so if you're working on a chart for an extended period, you'll be able to track changes over time and see exactly what was modified. This makes it easier to collaborate with other team members and ensures that nothing important is overlooked. So next time you are thinking about making a big change or as you begin planning for 2025, take a quick snapshot first, and it's like a really simple step that can save you a lot of time and headaches down the line.
Thanks, Rabani. So next up, let's talk about how org charts can play a key role in upskilling your team. Upskilling is becoming a huge focus for companies as they look to future-proof their workforce. In fact, just recently, Walmart announced a plan to fill 100,000 higher-paying and in-demand roles within the next 3 years. And instead of looking outside, they're focusing on developing their existing employees. So they're upskilling their current 2 million employees to step into these new roles. So why does this matter for your organization? Because training your current workforce for the future is more cost-effective, and it boosts employee engagement. This is where Organimi can step in to help. With Organimi, you can map out development paths and future roles for your employees right in the org chart. So imagine this. You identify team members who have the potential to step into leadership or highly specialized roles, but maybe they need some upskilling. You can use the org chart to visualize where they are now and where they can grow. So for example, you could create custom fields that track certifications, training, and new skills, attach links to training materials, courses, or development programs directly to an employee's profile. So this way, HR and managers can see at a glance who's ready for the next step and what skills they need to get there.
Awesome. Thanks, Bree. So as Walmart's example shows, businesses are investing in their people, helping them transition into higher paying, in-demand roles without having to look externally. So with the use of org charts, you can pinpoint which roles require new skills and identify team members who are ready for new challenges. Organimi makes it easy to visualize who's on track for these transitions. So whether it's managing a big workforce like Walmart's or a smaller team, org charts can be used strategically to plan and monitor employee growth. And it's not just about promotions. So development paths can mean lateral moves, learning opportunities, or even temporary assignments to build new skills. And this kind of approach is key for 2025 when more and more companies are realizing the value of upskilling their existing workforce instead of always hiring externally. So think about your organization for a second. How can an org chart be more than just a snapshot of your structure? How can it be the map for the future of your team? And most importantly, how can you use it to invest in your people? Because when your employees grow, so does your company. Quick question. Is upskilling something that your company is focusing on for 2025? So share with us in the chat, how are you planning to develop your teams for the future? And for those who are planning to hire for new roles, are you looking to do that externally, or are you looking to upskill your existing workers to fill those roles? So Pat is looking to hire externally. Yudi plans new roles and training for next year. So yeah, when you're planning for 2025, upskilling is definitely something that you can consider, and Organimi is a great way to kind of visualize that and, you know, who can fit into a certain role, as well as the vacant roles if you are looking to just simply hire externally as well. Lori says, each person has a professional development goal as part of performance management with a focus on upskilling. So that's great. Ellen says some roles upskilling and others externally. So a mix of both. Awesome.
Awesome. Thanks, Rita. Okay, so let's talk remote and hybrid teams. This is one trend from recent years that's only growing in 2025. We are working across cities, time zones, and sometimes even countries. Managing that is a whole different ballgame. With Organimi, you can actually map your teams based on location. This is super useful for hybrid teams, whether they're grouped by region, project, or time zone. You can get a clear view of who's where and how they fit into the overall structure. Not only does that make management easier, but also helps build collaboration. Plus, you can use visual maps to spot potential bottlenecks or gaps in coverage. It's a straightforward way to stay organized and keep your teams running smoothly, no matter the distance. So a quick poll here and interaction. How many of you are working with hybrid teams? Drop a note in the chat with where your team members are based.
There should also be a poll on your screen right now to just let us know the setting of your organization. So is it remote, hybrid, or in office?
Okay, so like about 15 people say, which is 58% saying that we do hybrid roles. About 23% they work remotely, which is like about 6 people here. And in office, about 5 people, going to about 19%. Oh, so that's wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, guys. And that's awesome. Organimi fits best for hybrid roles because you can have them both being placed, whether how many people are working in office, how many people are working remotely. You can have that being even built on a legend. So that gives you like a visual on the chart itself that, okay, today 10 people are working from home and then like there are 5 people working hybrid. So that gives you a great structure, and that can also be built out in a report to share with your team. So yeah, awesome. Thanks, guys.
Mm-hmm. Just to jump in on that, the Legend has had a really good update. So if you are working with Legends and Badges now, and you set certain themes, so you can set like the Legend to map out your remote workers, your hybrid workers, and in-office workers. If you click the name of that category, it'll condense the org chart to just show whatever you selected. So you can click remote, and it'll only show you the remote workers in your org chart. So it's a really great feature, one that I would recommend using.
Awesome. Now we'll get into the different ways that you can use org charts in your organization. So first off, we have enhancing cross-team collaboration. Collaboration is key in 2025, and with remote work becoming more common, it's important to have clear visual tools that show how teams are connected. Org charts aren't just about hierarchy, but they're also a map of who works together. You can visualize reporting lines, collaboration clusters, and even how different departments are interacting. This kind of transparency leads to better decision-making and stronger team dynamics in the long run. And let's face it, in a hybrid or remote setup, it's easy for teams to feel disconnected. An org chart brings clarity, showing who's working on what, and where team roles overlap. Imagine someone in marketing needs input from the product development team. Seeing exactly who to reach out for collaboration makes things smoother and faster. And finally, let's not forget how useful this is for onboarding new team members. With a well-maintained org chart, newcomers can quickly understand how the organization functions, who their counterparts are in other departments, and where they fit into the bigger picture. It breaks down ambiguity and fosters a sense of unity, even when people are working from different time zones or locations. When you know how teams overlap and where collaboration opportunities exist, you're better equipped to pivot and also adjust as business needs evolve.
Now let's shift gears and talk about growth. If your company is preparing for expansion in 2025, you'll need to stay ahead of the game with org charts. So whether it's onboarding new talent, scaling departments, or merging teams, an up-to-date org chart ensures you can see the big picture at all times. So Organimi lets you visualize different growth scenarios before they happen. Easily create duplicate copies of your main chart for scenario planning purposes. This is key for making informed decisions, especially in fast-paced industries. Imagine knowing exactly how your company will look in 6 months. That's the kind of foresight you can get with dynamic org charts.
Awesome. Thanks, Bree. So that wraps up our main discussion for the 2025 workforce planning. Well, if there are no other questions, I do want to just as a wrap up and kind of thank everyone for joining. We have talked a lot about how you can use org charts to manage change and optimize for remote teams, plan for growth in 2025. We do hope you found it helpful and that you're leaving with some new ideas that you can put into action right away, hopefully with those help articles as well. So thank you again for spending time with us today, and we can't wait to see how Organimi helps